guys? This is Phase 1 from Phase 1 Gaming, back with my second YouTube video. I hope you guys enjoyed the first one. Got about 100 views in a couple days. I really appreciate you if you came out and got that, and thanks if you played with me that weekend. We're going to be trying to go flawless again this weekend, so tune in. This week's video is going to be about how to use fusion rifles. I notice a lot of people aren't really out there using fusion rifles, and I swear by them, so I want to just show you guys what I think, how to use a fusion rifle. This is strictly going to be PvP. If you want a PvE guide, I might mess with one of those later, but right now this is all just going to be PvP fusion rifle usage and how to work with them in game modes like trials.
Alright, let's start this out. Now the first thing you're going to want to do is choose what kind of fusion rifle that fits you best. Now some people like a quick draw fusion rifle, something they can charge fast and get that close range kill. Other people want a really long range fusion rifle that they can work with over big engagement distances so that they can maybe clear a room or work through areas without a lot of opposition. Okay, now let's talk about faster charging fusion rifles. These are going to be the kind of fusion rifles you're going to want to pull out and use in really reactive types of situations. This isn't really a fusion rifle to be turning a corner with. This is a fusion rifle to be waiting out with. They turn the corner, you've got it ready to go, bam. Now, the faster fusion rifles are going to require a lot less of what's called combat foresight. Now, it's being able to predict what's about to happen, whether your enemy's going to rush in at you or wait behind the corner. Because they have such a fast charge time, you don't really have to think incredibly far in advance while charging. Now with the shorter range fusion rifles, stability isn't going to be such an issue. Having tightly packed rounds does help, but the cone is so small at the beginning that if you're looking at 2-3 meters of engagement distance, it's not really going to matter what your stability looks like. You're looking at a consistent kill. Now, while they can have a huge advantage in not needing so much combat foresight, they aren't going to lay as much power on the point, so you're going to really need to lay all your shots on package, okay? If you're not hitting them really hard with a low impact, fast charge rate fusion rifle, they're not going to go down, and chances are they are going to kill you unless you can follow up with something like a melee. Now let's move into mid-charge rate fusion rifles. Here you're looking at fusion rifles like the Panta Rhei. This is going to be a perfect example of a mid-range fusion rifle. It's got a decent range on it, it's got a decent stability on it, it's got consistent one-shot kills from about 3, maybe 4 meters out, okay? But that's it. And even using them at 3 to 4 meters, you have to put a lot of your shots on target. You have to have a really high stability to get one of these fusion rifles to get you a consistent one-shot kill. Now, they're not really a problem if you're using them as a follow-up device. If you want to, bust out your Panta Rhei, take the enemy for a shield, and then run in with something really quick like the Palindrome or maybe a pulse rifle, that's going to be a really good option because you're going to get a chance to put shots on the opposition before he puts shots on you, and then you can charge them at an advantage. Here's a list of good mid-range fusion rifles to use. Now let's move into heavy-hitting fusion rifles. What I really like about heavy-hitting fusion rifles is that they're going to put that damage on point at long range and get you that one-shot kill. This is something that you can peek around the corner on a sniper with, you can have a shotgun charging at you, you can take people out of their supers, you can take people with overshields, you can take people out of a res snipe, or what would be called a res snipe, but with a fusion rifle equivalent. These things are absolute monsters, that's why I stand by these things. Anytime you're going to see me in the Crucible, it's typically going to be a low charge rate, high impact weapon. And the reason for that is I want consistency with my fusion rifles. I don't want it to kill somebody from 10 feet 1 minute and then not kill them from 10 feet the next minute. I don't want to be trying to get the res snipe and it leave them with just that sliver of health. I want to make sure that I'm going to take them down, that all my shots are going to be on point. So what you're going to be looking for in these fusion rifles is a really high amount of stability and range. Because one, you're going to need a lot of combat foresight to use short-range, high-impact fusion rifles. It just doesn't make sense. You're going to want to have a lot of distance between you and the enemy so that you can close that charge gap and really just annihilate them before they have a chance to get in on you. So let's wrap those up. You got your faster charging fusion rifles. These are good for more reactive situations. Maybe you're defending a corner or something like that, but they're not going to be as incredibly great for turning a corner and trying to get that long range shot on maybe a sniper or somebody who's sitting downrange with a pulse rifle. Not too far, but close enough that you would feel comfortable with a higher impact, lower charge rate. Now in the middle, like I said, you got your Panta Rhei style. These tend to be somewhat inconsistent, but they can be really good weapons. If you find something with the proper roll on it, you're really talking about a really balanced out weapon. It's not going to be excellent for long range, it's not going to be excellent for close range, but in your mid-range engagement, it's going to be a really balanced type of weapon. And of course, like I said, low charge rate is going to dominate at long ranges, and it's really going to require a lot of combat foresight. So for the more experienced fusion rifler, I definitely recommend the low charge rate, high impact fusion. Okay, now let's talk charge times and false charging. Now what I call false charging is when you intentionally charge the fusion rifle anticipating a fight and then let go of the trigger if that fight doesn't occur. So what's going to happen is, say you're anticipating somebody coming around a corner. You'd want to immediately start to charge your fusion rifle, but if you notice that after the first couple seconds or right before it would outburst rounds, you're going to want to let go of the trigger and then start to immediately recharge in case they start to charge you then. That's called false charging. False charging can be really useful in the low charge rate fusion rifles because it can actually turn them into high charge rate fusion rifles with a little bit of combat foresight. So picture this, your opponent's about to come around the corner at you and you know that he's going to come at you. Say you're sitting on 2 assets, a res, or maybe even a zone. You know that he's going to turn that corner and you know that he needs to turn soon. You're going to want to keep your fusion rifle false charging because you're not going to have time to charge a low rate fusion rifle when he's coming at you, so you're going to want to have that thing charged and ready to go. Now by doing that, you can also leave yourself time to make a slight mistake. I mean, maybe you miss a couple of the fusion rifle rounds while he's coming at you, but you've taken him for a significant amount of his health. Now you're going to get a chance to pop out to that primary and really just clean him up. Another important part of fusion rifle usage to me is to not play aggressively, but to play instead objectively. People tend to be impatient in trials especially because, there's only a minute and 25-second timer. You're going to be looking at a zone capture pretty quick, so playing objectively is definitely the smarter option for fusion rifles. Especially now with the new meta, you're going to have to get yourself some ammo, so obviously a fusion rifle is going to do you absolutely nothing with no ammo. So first things first, let's get our hands on some ammo. Once you get to that crate, you're going to want to do whatever you can to hold out. Some people like to play from crate to crate. That's typically my game. If I can't win at one crate, rather than challenge them there with no good weapons, I'll move to another crate, get myself some fusion rifle ammo, and really work myself into a good situation. Now, what you can do is when you have fusion rifle ammo, play for corners, things like that. When you know an enemy's about to advance on you, do not advance on them. A lot of people like to turn the corners on snipers, get that little look off, quote unquote, see if they're there. I don't really understand what that does for them. It doesn't help me. What I want to do is get to a secure location, somewhere where I know I'm not going to have to move, or move very far in the event that the zone does come up. Say I have an asset down, like a body. I'm going to want to camp that. There's no need to take somebody down with a fusion rifle and then go looking for the next guy. You know that in trials he's going to come back for his friend, or he's going to wait it out for the zone, but either way, that's what you want to do. You want to play reactively. You don't want to play in the sense that you're coming around the corner trying to figure out where guys are, because that's going to really affect your ability to charge the fusion rifle and use it effectively. Remember, fusion rifles require finesse and combat foresight. If you're not going to use combat foresight, the fusion rifle is not going to be the weapon for you. You might want to go with a shotgun, maybe even a sidearm. But combat foresight is definitely a trademark of the fusion rifle. If you can't see what's about to happen in your head, if you can't make some predictions about what your enemy's going to do, then you're really not going to do too well with these weapons.
Alright you guys, that's it for the first video. Remember, you gotta play objectively with fusion rifles. They're not meant for rushing in. That's what shotguns and sidearms and things like that are for. So play objectively with the fusion rifle. That's probably the biggest piece of advice I can offer you. Again, make a good choice on your fusion rifle. If you pick a bad fusion rifle for the situation, it's not going to do so well. Third, probably one of the most important things as well, is to use a fusion rifle on a map that dictates using a fusion rifle. You're not going to play Frontier with a fusion rifle. It's not going to help anybody out. Anyway, you guys, be sure to comment, subscribe. I appreciate everybody who came back from the first video. You guys are all the shit. Thanks.